Hi guys, it's Lanikia, and I am coming to you with season 3, episode 3 of This Is Us. Excuse me. Season 3, episode 3 of This Is Us, and it is called Kate's Girls. So it starts off with Rebecca. It shows her mom and dad's relationship, and Rebecca's mom was really like a Stepford wife or a Susie homemaker. Like the husband came in, she made sure she was perfect, makeup, hair, everything was perfect, dress, clothing, everything. And then she had his meal ready for him, she had the drink ready for him, she catered to him, she cooked, she did everything for him, and he brought home the money. So that's how it was. And so Rebecca was in homemaking class, and she realized that was not for her. So because she broke an egg into I guess they were making cake or something, I don't know, but she broke an egg and she realized this is not for me. So she went to the boys class, which technically was the boys class back then, and it was I guess a wood making class or something, and all the guys are laughing and everything. But that's where she meets Alan, and Alan is the guy who was on her doorstep that day. So apparently he had been gone to London, and while he was gone to London, she realized, and you know what, she realized that while he was gone to London, that was she was doing her own little thing or whatever. And then he just came, and because he had asked her to go, we find out, but she didn't want to go, because she wanted to do her own little thing. So I'm gonna wrap up Rebecca, because I'm just gonna wrap that part up, because she wanted to do her own little thing. She didn't want to go and follow him. She wanted to have her own dreams and aspiration. So she's shocked to see him, but she lets him come in and everything. And at that point, Jack passes by and he sees her talking to him, and of course his feelings are hurt, and everything, because he think she's kissing on him. But so then he keeps driving by, and so by the time he makes it home, he's kind of upset, and his dad is there, and we all know from the last episode his dad is kind of rude or whatever. So his dad is there, and his dad tells his mom, his dad's making a sandwich for his mom. His mom is making a sandwich for his dad, excuse me, and she gives it to him, and he was like, oh, whatever, all these pickles on it, and he throws the sandwich on the floor and tells her to clean it up and do it again. And Jack is like, no, Mom, no, that's enough of this. Don't you pick that sandwich up off the floor and clean it up. And his dad is like, oh, what, you're a big man now, but you didn't protect your brother in the war, because Jack's brother died in the war. And his mom was like, it's okay, Jack. And he's like, no, if you clean that up, or if you stay here, go. He tells her to go pack a bag, and she's like, what are you talking about? He says, Mom, go pack a bag and come with me, because if you stay here, I'm gonna kill him. So you have a choice between packing a bag or coming with me. So of course she packs her bag and she goes on, or whatever. So then we see that she's fretting, because when you're leaving an abusive relationship, it's hard. Like, we all know that. Even if you've never been one, if you've ever had a friend within one, or know someone who knew someone, then you always hear how hard leaving an abusive relationship is. And so she was having second thoughts about going, but Jack convinced her, yeah, you're doing the right thing. And so she's going to go stay with a friend. And on the way there, she's like, well, I can't go show empty-handed. So they stop by a grocery store. And when they stop by the grocery store to pick up a cake to bring home to the guests. So we're going to leave them right there and go back to flashback with Rebecca. So then Rebecca is with Alan's parents, and Alan's mom is like, she knew she liked Rebecca because Alan wanted Rebecca to come to London, and she said, I love that you turned him down, because you had your own dreams and aspirations and wanted to do your own thing. And so Rebecca was, they're just talking, and you could tell she had a nice relationship with them. And so she tells them that she wants to go to Los Angeles because it's a record label that's looking at her, and she wants to go sing. And Alan's like, no, don't go to Los Angeles. Come with me to New York. He wants her to live with him in New York. He has a connection, and he can hook her up there. And the mom kind of looked like, I don't know. Um, because, it was just like you just came back in her life and you're already telling her what to. That's how I took it. You're already telling her what to do. But Rebecca is like, oh my goodness, and she's, I don't know what she's doing. She's just like, okay. And so then they're all talking, and Alan was like, well, later on he was like, I wasn't gonna ask you that fast, and she was like, yeah, it was fast. He was like, I just knew that I wanted, you in my life, or whatever. So he says, let's celebrate about, and he wants to get a drink, and she said, I'll go get it, get something to drink at the store for, to celebrate. And he says, I'll go with you. And she says, no, I'm just gonna go by myself. So cut to Rebecca being at the store, and she sees Jack, and Jack sees her, and they talk and everything. And so Jack asks, so they're talking, and she tells him she's moving to New York. It's her dream to be a singer. And he said, you should. You're really a great singer. And she tells him, did you ever have a dream? And he's taken aback because he says no one's ever asked him that. And his dream is just a simple dream, but it's beautiful. Like, he just wants a family life that he didn't have. He wants a wife, he wants a family with a nice home. He wants love and everything that he had later on in life, with his own. Those are all his dreams that he dreamed about, that he dreamt of. So and she realizes that those aren't really her, because she wants to be a singer, and she wants to travel and do all this kind of stuff. And so she's like, our dreams are not the same. And so they go their separate ways. And then she goes back to Alan's home, and she's talking to his mom, and she tells her that she cares for Alan, and she wants to be a singer. She lets her know that there's another man, and even though they've only spent 4 hours together, his mother's like, this just a feeling. And his mother understands, and like, she's one of those mothers that doesn't just go with what her, because how some mothers can be like, it's all about their child. Well, she wasn't like that. She didn't treat Rebecca like that. It was like they were friends, and she just happened to date, her son, Alan. Rebecca just happened to date her son. So she's supporting Rebecca, going after, the man that she wants. And so Rebecca, the next thing we see, Rebecca finds Jack because she sees his car in the driveway, and so she goes up to him, and she talks to him, and she asks, tells him, I knew you said your mom was gonna be staying with a friend, so I saw your car. And she pulled she just came to talk to him. And he's like, what about that other guy? And she's like, that's previous, that's in the past and everything. So he starts just washing the dishes. There were dishes on the table because his mom and her friend had went for a walk. And no one's telling him to do it. No one's making him do it. He just does it. And she liked that. Like, so he's not looking for a Susie homemaker, which is what I think she thought maybe that's what he was kind of wanting. But he's not. He's not looking for that. Anyone to take care of him that way. And so she asked him, do you want to go to take a trip? And he says, where? And she says, to Los Angeles. And he's like, yes. And that's so that's how it went off with them. So then we get to, we're going to go to Kevin, because Kevin is with, who is he with? Kevin is with Zoe. Kevin was with Zoe. And he's picking up her up from the airport and everything. And he's doing this little circuit of, he's doing his interview circuit because his movie has done well. It's got plenty of buzz. So he's having to go around to all the different places just to talk about his movie. And so, I'm sorry, it's a little late. And so he's doing his, the circuit, all the different interviews and shows and everything. And, there's this one show he wants to do, and Zoe wants to go to it as well because she really loves this the interviewer that he's going to be with. So he goes and does and their relationship is still kind of like this, where you could tell he wants more, and she wants to give him more, but she's holding back as well. So I don't know how this is gonna work out. But anyways, so he's doing the interview, and they're asking, because his movie is about the war, and they're asking him. I was like, ma'am, stop asking him these questions. She's like, did your dad fight? What unit was he in? I think that's what she said. But she was asking him all these questions. I'm like, ma'am, he does not know. He said he didn't know. Like, stop asking him this. And she was like, well, sometimes men, they didn't like to talk about the war or whatever. And Kevin's really realizing that he knew nothing about this. And he has a flashback to when he was a child and he wanted to play with like war things, and his dad wouldn't let him. Like, his dad got angry with them, and their dad didn't get angry often, but he comes to him now. This is a young Kevin. He comes to him and he explains that for him, war is not a toy. It's not fun, like the little fake grenades and all that. It's not fun to him because he actually was in it, and everything. And Kevin is coming to the realization that he knew that, like, his dad didn't talk about it and he didn't ask questions about it, and he's kind of feeling bad about that. So Zoe's going to help him reach out to people who were in the war with his dad, because he has old pictures and everything, just to try to figure out that part of his dad's life. So that was pretty much it with Kevin. So then we go to Randall, who he still has his little feeling. Well, not little feelings, but he still has his feelings hurt over what Kate said about him not being, like, he feels like she was saying that because he wasn't biological, he couldn't have their dad in him. So he confronts her about it, and then Kate turns it around on him because, I don't know, both of them were, like, I don't know, I just felt like both of them were being petty because I understood both their sides, and I feel like they each were not trying to understand each other's side, because Kate saying that he's not like their dad, Randall felt like, well, you want a baby so bad to have your DNA that you're undertaking this risky surgery when you could just adopt, because that baby would still be like you if you adopt or whatever, because he took to heart what she said, and he feels like he's like his dad. So then she gets upset and makes it about her. It was a mess. So anyways, they ended up on a fight because neither one of them wanted to budge off their point in them being right or whatever. So then we go to Randall, Beth getting Randall on the line with Kate, because it's been about a week, and Beth, Miguel, and Toby have a group chat where they make fun of the she said they send a lot of gifts, but they also just talk about the siblings and they're messed up, like the stuff that they do, that's kind of messed up and everything. It's cute. And so she calls Kate, and Randall is trying to talk to Kate, and Kate is just feeling overwhelmed because she feels like everybody's acting like she's gonna die in surgery, so she's a little overwhelmed about that, so she can't really talk to Randall. So of course his big gesture is to fly out to make sure she's okay, and Rebecca's talking to him because she's been working on her project. We've seen her work on this project, so she's been working really hard, and she's nervous about, she's thinking she's gonna get a promotion, and she's nervous about it. So then we see that Rebecca gets, am I calling her Rebecca? I'm sorry, Beth, not Rebecca. So then we see that Beth gets taken into the office of her boss, and she's thinking it's about this promotion, but we all could see this was not about a promotion. And he pretty much lets her go. She tells him to say it, and he says, you're less valuable than the other two people. So they give her a little severance pay, and they're firing her because they had to have cutbacks, and so she lost her job. And so when she gets home, she has a drink, and she flashes back to when William was talking to her, and he told her, like, sometime soon, he told her, you're the base, like, you hold everything together. And it's kind of like Randall is this trumpet. He gets all the solos, he gets all of that, and Kate is just the bass. But he told her the bass is important. You hold everything together. He said, but soon you're gonna need to be the trumpet. You're gonna need to have your solo moment, and don't you sit there and twirl your ring around your finger, wondering why did you get married, or why are you still in this marriage, or what's your purpose or point in everything. So then we see to continue on with Randall, we see he's flown out to Kate, and I'm gonna kind of do a spoiler, which y'all probably already saw it anyways. He's flown out to Kate, and he and Toby are talking, and they're talking about their depression and everything. And they share that moment, and then Randall also, when Kate finally wakes up, she tells him he's just like the dad, because he flew all the way to Los Angeles to be with her, and that's something their dad would do, make this big gesture, because Randall can't just apologize, he has to make big gestures, and she says that's just like something dad would do. And so they're good now. So then he gets a phone call from Deja, and so when he flies back home, and the phone call is actually that Sky was beaten up for her cell phone, and so she's in the hospital and they broke her arm, and he's been talking to the councilman, and the councilman is blowing him off or whatever. So he's been talking to the councilman, he won't do anything to help. And so Chi tells Randall, like, if you're gonna help, then help. If you're gonna help fix it, then be a man, be a man of your word and do just that, because everybody talks. And he was like, I'm gonna fix it. So when he gets home, Beth asks him how Sky is, and he tells her and everything. And then he starts talking about how his dad was such a great man. He was like a superhero. He was just a great man, and they're all the siblings are like chasing that to have him with them. And he just tells her that the councilman, the people need him, in that area, and he's gonna run against the councilman. And it was Randall's moment. It was like he was doing the solo again. And Beth was literally twirling her wedding ring, and she just stopped and she told him, I got fired. And then that's how that went off with them. So hopefully, I don't want their marriage to have problems. Like, I love these two, and not just because I love when they show black love, but it's not even just about the black love thing. It is because these two are like my favorite couple, period. Like, on any show that I watch, I love these two, and I don't want them. I hate when they have people have problems in their marriage. Like, some marriages don't have problems. Some marriages are just okay, and I want these two to be like that. I don't have them with problems. But so that's the end with Randall. So then we go to Kate, who had a big part in this story. And so she's nervous about IVF and everything, and everyone's making her feel like, and so she tells Toby this, and Toby's like, everything's gonna be okay. So she gets a little nervous when it's time to go in for the surgery, but she's going to get it done. And so they're gonna take her eggs, and then Toby's gonna give his sperm. Which, remember, Toby is off his meds because he wanted his sperm count up, because the medicine he was taking was decreasing his sperm count. So then we see that, oh God. So, because it was decreasing his sperm count. So then we see that, sorry about that. He and Kate he does his own thing with Randall. He's really mostly with Randall this episode, and it wasn't too much about him. But she is in the hospital, and as she's under the medication and everything, and it's time for her to wake up, she doesn't wake. She's having a hard time waking up, and that's because she's in this place where she sees, all of them as babies and everything, and her teenage self comes to her, and her teenage self is mean. She's a brat, and she's just like, you can't have this. You can't you can't have a baby and everything. Like, look at your weight. All you did was eat, And then she sees her younger self as a child. And her younger self is very, excited and happy about it. So, and then her dad is there as well. So it's just like this conflict. It's probably just all her emotions where she wants a baby, but she's afraid. And, she's thinking about all of the risks of it. So that's where the teenage self comes into play. But then the child self is like, you always wanted a child. And then, of course, it's her dad, because she wants to pass on a child that has her dad in the child as well. So it was all of that. And then finally she comes to realize that, it's not her time to go. She wants to be there with her children. So she tells her dad bye, and he says, I know you got to go, and everything. So she wakes up. And that's pretty much it with Kate. Even though it was a huge part of the episode, Each scene was kind of a repeat of the scene before. It was just the different wording in it. So that was This Is Us. I know it was a quick video. I'm a little tired, and I gotta get up early and do it all over again tomorrow as far as work wise. So that was pretty much the video of This Is Us. It was a good episode. I really liked this episode. It was a lot of moving parts, but they all made sense. And that's, you know what, I did my review on Manifest, and I think that's the thing about Manifest that I'm missing. It's like they try to tie it all together, but it's so many moving parts. Whereas with This Is Us, they're able to tie it all together. Like in the end, you see where they're all chasing to be the greatness of their dad, and it makes sense. But so I guess that's the recap. As far as the review, I loved it. I loved this episode. It was really good. I think excuse me, my sinus, y'all know. I think I like I said last night when I did the other episode of This Is Us, I'm sad to say, like, I need Toby to get back on his medicine ASAP, because he says Kate has never seen him off his medicine. I don't want her to. I need you to get back on your medicine, because you're about to have a baby, like, and I need him to be rational about this. I hope they don't, destroy Randall and Beth. I need those two together. I need a lot. Kevin and Zoe, I was liking them together, but I don't know now. Just because it seems like he is wanting more, and he's going through trying to find, even, he's still trying to find himself. They're all trying to find themselves. So I don't know. I'm just looking forward to to continue to watch the episode. I know a new episode came on last night, so I'll catch that up tomorrow, and I'll be introducing either A Million Little Things or New Amsterdam as the new show, because I'm trying to get caught up on all four of these so I can be up to date. But that was This Is Us. Tell me what you think. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Not that there's much left of it. Bye.